is made possible by local author Sarada Bonnet. In Notes of Forgiveness, Bonnet shares her childhood story as daughter of famed rockabilly singer Sherry Davis. Notes of Forgiveness, available in bookstores and at saradabonnet.com.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Jeff Beachbum Berry, author and owner of the French Quarter-based tiki bar Latitude 29. Welcome, and you are certainly decked out, sir. I love that.
Have to come correct.
That's right, looking good. And making his Steppin Out debut, Tim McNally. Hello, Tim.
Thank you, Peggy.
Who has a long time helped WYES with the wine auction and so many other things, but he is more than uniquely qualified to be with us because he is the host of the Dine, Wine, and Spirit Show on WGSO Radio. That's 9:90 a.m. Monday through Friday, and that's from 3 to 5 p.m. Also, though, he is the Wine and Spirits editor, a long-time Wine and Spirits editor for New Orleans Magazine. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Peggy.
Hello.
Nice to be here.
Yes, indeed, and we're thrilled you're here. And we also have pianist and composer Armand St. who's going to be playing for us a little later. Hello.
It's great to be here,
Happy holidays.
Peggy.
Good
Thanks
to see you.
Me.
And Alfred Richard, movie reviewer for WWL TV, and of course covering the local music and television scene for us, production scene. Good to see you, too.
Good seeing you again.
But
Peggy.
First up, of course, we've got to tell you that Poppy Tooker and Alan Mason return next week. But let's start with food, sir, and some awards.
Yes, some big awards. Every year, New Orleans Magazine, the writers of New Orleans Magazine get together and determine the year's accomplishments that need to be recognized. And the December issue is traditionally devoted to what our thoughts are in that area. And
look who's on the cover.
This one was no different. That's Justin DeVier, who is up at La Petite Grocery, just doing some amazing work up there on Magazine Street. And this young man, I want to say, has a bright future in front of him, but he's already given us so much pleasure already. Yeah, he has, and he's getting set to open up another restaurant here in town called Balise. So that's coming, I think, in January, if I'm not mistaken. So Justin, we thought, deserved that recognition since he has given us so much over the years, particularly since Katrina, up at La Petite Grocery, which has turned out to be one of the great restaurants in New Orleans. Beautiful, beautiful restaurant. Next, we managed to recognize Marcello's, which is a brand new restaurant in town on St. Charles Avenue in what's turned into be a restaurant row area. And Marcello's is actually out of Lafayette, and they do wonderful Italian cuisine over there. But the key to the restaurant, which makes it extremely interesting, is that the whole back room is where they put the wine. So the wine is back there on racks like you would see in a retail store. So you get up and you go back there and choose your wine, pick up the bottle, look at it, fall in love, and then bring that back to your table. And so, as opposed to going through a wine list, which is oftentimes pretty skinny on information, you can look at the bottle and get all the information you want from that. And the food at Marcello's is very good. As I said, they came out of Lafayette, and they have just done a grand job up there in the old Le Chat Noir location.
Of course.
So so it's a terrific place up there. And we called that our concept of the year, and we thought that was pretty unique the way they approached it. We then awarded for our Mexican restaurant of the year, a brand new restaurant, a John Besh restaurant, which called Johnny Sanchez, located on Poydras Street, which is just getting set to explode in that area when that South Market development comes fully online. And Johnny Sanchez is a kind of a mashup of a name for John Besh and Aaron Sanchez out of New York. We didn't know how much Aaron Sanchez loved New Orleans, but he does, and he loves John Besh. But then again, who doesn't love John Besh? So, but that is our Mexican restaurant of the year. And then our restaurateur of the year is a young man who has worked his way up from the very bottom of the business. He was a busboy here in New Orleans. His father was the maitre d' at the Sazerac restaurant and here in New Orleans. But he came out of Mexico City and has managed to work his way up to own Cava, C-A-V-A. Bay on Harrison Avenue, which is another one of those streets that since Katrina has really caught on fire.
It's the old Landry's.
Yes, the old Landry's Seafood.
Yeah,
Landry's Po'
originally
Boys.
Draco's a long, long time ago.
Oh my goodness! And yes, exactly. And the design of the restaurant is ultra contemporary, so you won't recognize anything about the old Landry's in this restaurant, and not even the cuisine. But he's brought in a couple of chefs that are just doing some fabulous work over there. So well worth everybody's time. And Danny is just as nice a man as you want to meet. Yes, a great representation of our city. So and then we have awarded the Giving Back Award to Cafe Reconcile over in Aretha Castle Haley, which is taking urban youth who have graduated from high school or are about to, but are still having trouble finding their way in the world, and bring them into this environment, which is very professionally run. There are expectations of showing up every day for work, of learning how to deal with the restaurant environment, and these young people are then sent out into our community, the hospitality community, and they have just done a fabulous job. And Reconcile is such a great spot. Yes, such a great spot, and so important. And then near and dear to my heart is the Mixologist of the Year Award, and that is Cheryl Charming, who is the bar mistress at Bourbon O Bar at Bourbon Street and Orleans, which is very odd for us to recognize something on Bourbon Street as of the year status. But this is a bar that appeals to locals, and Cheryl is very creative. Not only she's written 15 books about cocktails. People don't even know that. And in fact, she has she puts every month out. She puts a bulletin out on the bar so that our visitors to New Orleans can read about the history of the drinks, the history of the building, the history of the French Quarter, and all that. So it's very informative.
And it's inside the Bourbon Orleans.
It is. It's right there on the corner at Bourbon and Orleans.
Wow.
Right there on that corner.
Now, we should point out that we've really just given everybody a taste, because there's 7 other more categories.
Yes.
And thanks to Robert Payton and Jay Foreman, part of your team here. But you can go to New Orleans Magazine or myneworleans.com for the rest of them. But Tim, thank you for giving us that taste.
Thank you, Peggy.
Terrific.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we turn to Armand, who we always love having around. He's going to be playing for us shortly. And we'll show you, he's done many CDs, so we'll show you a little bit about that too. But what you been up to, kiddo?
Well, I have a brand new song online. You can go to CD Baby and get it. It's called Samson of the Sidelines. and it's about Rob Ryan and his long hair.
Oh, okay. So that'll be a lot of fun.
So the defense gets his strength from his hair's long length.
Well, I know you play year-round. You play, of course, at various gigs and in lounges, but you also do a lot of philanthropic work, too, which means a lot. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a great cover. Love that.
That's from, the art is from Ron Domingue. It was used as a cover on a local magazine, and Patty contacted the magazine. They gave us his name and number, and he gave us permission to use it as the cover.
That is so good. And so the way we can hear that is through CD Baby?
CD Baby, that's right. You can download it for a modest price.
Yeah, and I know you're a New Orleans guy. What are some of your, we've been sort of waxing nostalgic during the holidays here, enjoying Christmas and going to New Year's. What are some of your New Orleans Christmas memories and holiday memories?
From the 50s, I remember Canal Street, when it was the heart of the city. It was brightly lit. Everything was dazzling. Everybody dressed up to go there. Mama wore the gloves and the hat. You know, we saw Mr. Bingle and Santa Claus down there. And then the later story is that when I was about 10, and I loved toy trains, right? And my father was late doing Christmas, but woke up on Christmas Day, and there was a nice Lionel layout on a white sheet on the carpet in the living room. And I started playing with it and everything. I started thinking, this looks mighty familiar. And he had given me my brother's train. So my brother was very sullen. My mother was very mad.
Oh,
so the next day, we piled in the car and we went to a Lionel train store that was going out of business. My father pretty much bought him out.
Oh.
It was like $1,000 in 1960 dollars.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's a lot of trains. So we ended up having the biggest train set anyone had ever seen in the basement. The control panel is 8 feet long with all these lights and things. And when my best friend from the neighborhood came to Los Angeles and saw our recording studio where I have an 8-foot mixer with all these little lights and tracks, and he says, Man, that's just like your train set back home.
So what are you playing for us tonight, sir?
A Winter Wonderland.
Okay, well, we'll let you get up and do that, but we're so delighted that Armand St. he's with us quite a few times of the year. We're really glad you're going to do that, so go right ahead. Okay, let's hear Winter Wonderland.
The sleigh bells are ringing, are you listening? In the lane, the snow is glistening, it's a beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird, he sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we could build a snowman and pretend it is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job when you're back in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we sit by the fire. The face unafraid, the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. We could build a snowman and pretend that he's Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job when you're back in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we sit by the fire. The face unafraid, the plans that we made. Walking in a winter wonderland. I said, walking in a winter wonderland. I said, walking in a winter wonderland.
Yay! Love that boogie woogie piano. Thank you, Armand. Now it's time for our Artist Spotlight over at Lemieux Galleries, and tomorrow is the final day of the exhibit, The Unseen Works by the Dean of New Orleans Modernism, Paul Ninas. We have the 1940 untitled Reclining Nude on the Beach and also the dock scene. Look at that. Ninas is best known for his murals on view at the Roosevelt's Sazerac Bar. Lemieux Galleries is located at 332 Julia Street, and there's also a Dusty Bonget show there too, so check it out. You can visit WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events. Also is a link to our WYES YouTube channel to view our program. And now, though, it is time for Alfred. Yes, news, babe.
Oh, my goodness. All I can say is, and I can say I got this line from you, I think that Hollywood is now going to call themselves New Orleans West, because there are at least 15 different productions going on in and around the area, and that's just in this region alone. We're not even including Baton Rouge and North Louisiana as well. Now, we know of series such as NCIS New Orleans, which has been renewed, and everyone's very happy about that, doing well.
I ran into CCH Pounder on the street, on Julia Street the other day. You know, you could tell, hello, how are you? It's so nice.
That's the great thing about New Orleans, the idea there's no, oh, it's a star. No, it's just an average person going down against a po' boy. And also, we have American Horror Story Freak Show, which has been renewed for another season. So another chance. They may be back here in New Orleans. This has been a very good year. Of course, the 25th anniversary of the New Orleans Film Festival took place, and they did a fantastic job there. But let's talk about some of the films that are in production and will be coming out in 2015 and 2016. First up, a film called Man Down. And Man Down is set in a post-apocalyptic United States in which a U.S. Marine is searching for his son. And the stars of this one are quite varied. You'll see them almost anywhere in the city. Jay Courtney is one of the main stars. He is the Marine looking for his son. It also will star Kate Mara, a lovely young lady in here. And this young man, usually you've seen him with a bag over his head of late, is Shia LaBeouf. He is in the film as well in New Orleans. Yeah. And one of my favorite actors, Gary Oldman, who is good in just about everything he has done. There's a comedy coming out soon that will be called Mr. Right. And this one is about a young woman who falls for the perfect guy. But there's a small problem. Apparently, he is a hitman on the run. That could really screw up a relationship. It stars Anna Kendrick as a young lady who is looking for love in definitely all the wrong places. Anson Mount also stars in this film as well. And Sam Rockwell. I've always liked Sam Rockwell. He is in this film as well. Tim Roth, who has been seen in and around the city as well. He loves the city. And RZA, the performer known as RZA. I don't know what RZA stands for. I know it doesn't mean the Radio Zenith Association of America, but he is in this film as well. And let's go to a film that's been lensing or shooting in this region for the last few weeks. Our brand is Crisis. So this is based on the American political campaign tactics set in South America. It's based on a documentary there. And it stars one of New Orleans' favorite people and one of Warren Easton High School's favorite people, Sandra Bullock. She's the main star of this film, along with Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob is there. You see him there, all resplendent and with more hair. And one of the great New Orleanian performers and actors, Anthony Mackie. He stars in this film. So look for Our Brand is Crisis coming out in 2015.
That's the Mary Madeline James Carville.
That's right, based on their lovely life together. Also, this one is scheduled for release in 2016 as of this next film, scheduled for 2016 release, called Valencia. It's about a young woman who wakes up from a car accident and finds herself in the basement of a man who claims that he saved her from a chemical attack. But there's more to it than that, of course. Obviously, there's a lot more. It stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who is a fine actress who has done a lot of good work here. And one of our New Orleans' own, John Goodman. Yes, he's going to be in this film as well. It's also co-produced by J.J. Abrams, who, of course, has redone Star Trek and now has all of the Star Wars fans, including myself, all excited about Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens. And so J.J. Abrams is co-producing this film, Valencia. The Hank Williams story gets a lensing and is being shot in this area too. It's called I Saw the Light. And that one will star Elizabeth Olsen. And when we were looking at this, we were starting to think, wait, the Olsen twins? She looks very much like one of the Olsen twins, but no, it is not. And it also stars Tom Hiddleston. He plays Hank Williams in this film. So look for this film to come out in 2015. Also a film being shot in this area called Kidnap. This is about a mother who's looking to get her child back from a kidnapping, sort of like a Taken, except this time on the female side. It stars Oscar winner Halle Berry, and Halle, gorgeous lady, and she is, a lot of people who talk to me who are on the production said she's just been a jewel to work with. And not pictured here, but one of our New Orleans performers and actors, Dana Gourier, is in this film as well. So look for Kidnap to come out. A film that is upcoming, it is in pre-production right now, another comedy. This one's called Daddy's Home, and this one stars Mark Wahlberg. It's about a young man who discovered, well, he's divorced, and he finds that his ex-wife has remarried somebody far more repressed than he. So he now gets back into her life, and the she is played by Linda Cardellini. And also, since it is a comedy, you got to have Mr. Will Ferrell. And again, so it's a Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg working together since the other guys. And very quickly, another film, The Story of Dalton Trumbo, is still being worked on right now. That's going to star Elle Fanning as the wife of Dalton Trumbo. Bryan Cranston is going to be Dalton Trumbo, so expect a lot of good things out here. Also, very quickly, Diane Lane in the film, Helen Mirren, and Alan Tudyk as well. And one last one, Abattoir. It's a film being shot here starring Jessica Lowndes and New Orleans' own Brian Batt.
Well, I'm curious because abattoir, which is a beautiful sounding word, is a slaughterhouse. So that'll be very interesting.
It's going to be very interesting to see how it works and how it turns.
Thank you very much, Alfred. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time we wanted the name of the upriver parish where the largest concentration of Christmas bonfires are located, and also one of the 3 towns there that are around there where there are bonfire states. St. James Parish, you could have said Gramercy, Lutcher, or Paulina. Now tonight's question. What are the hometowns of the two universities playing in the Sugar Bowl? And what are their mascot names? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a Louisiana Life magazine subscription, a gift certificate for two courtesy of Vianne's Tea House, offering their culinary and gourmet tea experience. And tonight we have a dish towel with the message Happy New Year from our friends at wearablevegetables.com. By the way, some wearable vegetable items are available at Little Miss Muffin, that's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. We also have a copy of the Benny Grunch in the Bunch, 12 Yachts of Christmas, and that's the 25th anniversary CD, as he spells it, and full of his New Orleans area themed hits over the years. And it's a double CD, by the way, too. And now, speaking of seeing double here, we're so glad to have Jeff Beachbum Berry, who's got a brand new place, and congratulations, in the quarter. Of course, your focus here are these wonderful tiki drinks, and you've really lived that. You've even got books out, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, 6 of them.
Tell us about that.
Well, growing up in Southern California, which was kind of like ground zero for the whole tiki craze, which was, a lot of people don't realize, the longest lived cocktail trend in American history. It was from the end of Prohibition all the way to the dawn of disco, 40 years. And I grew up going to these places. Of course, I was too young to drink, but I saw people drinking things out of bowls and flaming and ice cones around straws, and I go, why? When I get old, I want to be an alcoholic when I grow up. It didn't come to that, but I did seek these places out, and the reason I wrote 6 books was
because... Yes, I want to show one of the... You've got one of them here for us, the Potions of the Caribbean. Look at that.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's the newest.
That's the latest?
Yes.
This is the latest? There it is. Yeah. Very good.
The reason I had to write these books was because none of these recipes had been written down. They were all highly guarded trade secrets. And the bartenders who knew them were valued employees, and this was their job security, basically. Very often they wouldn't even tell the general managers or the owner of the restaurant what the recipes were. If they didn't like it in a place or they weren't getting a big enough raise, they would just take the recipes with them.
Gee whiz. Well, let's talk about Latitude 29. It's been open since November, and it's a bar, but you also have food, too, don't you?
Oh,
this is where
very much so.
Iris used to be, we should say, in the Iberville Hotel.
Yeah, it's in the Bienville House and the site of Iris. And yes, we are a full-service, pretty much fine dining restaurant. Our chef, Chris Shortle, was at, speaking of John Besh, he was at, what's the flagship? Of,
August.
He was at August. He was also at Coquette for a long time.
What is this drink?
That is the Black Pearl. That's an off-menu drink served in a giant clamshell. But the one before us right now is the Lapu Lapu, another secret recipe, which I had to hunt down old bartenders.
Oh, look at the food here, too, though.
Yeah, our tonkatsu duck. Chris is an amazing chef, and I think he's going to be on Tim's list one day. He's fabulous. Doing
and your decor
is
very tiki-oriented, of course, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Most of it gathered over the past 30 years.
Oh, yeah, because I know you have quite the collection.
Yeah.
But now tell us about this drink. We're going to show this drink. Wow, you've got long straws, too. What do you call this one?
This is the Lapu Lapu.
This Lapu Lapu. Okay.
Yeah, this is
so straws will go in there eventually,
Straws will go in, and yeah.
There's just a little rum in that. What else is in here?
You've got passion fruit, honey, lime, pineapple, and 3 different rums. You have a overproof Demerara rum from Guyana, which is what gives the special taste to it. And you have a Virgin Islands rum, a gold rum, and a dark Jamaican as well. And that's the blending of all these rums together is what made tiki drinks so special and why they lasted for 40 years, including the Bali High from Pontchartrain Park. They did that over there as well.
Pontchartrain Beach.
Yeah,
Oh, look, you've got a menu. Talk about. I keep pulling from all your great stuff here.
Okay.
A menu from the Bali High. So you of course have the traditional drinks, but you've created your own too. But you've got the usual Mai Tais and Singapore Sling.
Navy
Look
grog.
at that.
We have
this
several.
is in great shape, huh?
Yeah, several drinks from the Bali High itself. Jay Batt, who was part of Jay and Brian were both members of the family.
Maybe folks didn't realize that some of those beloved drinks are over at Latitude 29. I have to say, a personal note, that my husband Errol and I enjoyed our wedding reception at the Bali High. So you know it was a little ways back. But congratulations. So are you always, I know you're trying to preserve these drinks, but do you try to create new ones as well?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And about 40% of the menu is new creations. I mean, you have to keep up with the new century. There's this whole cocktail renaissance going on. I would love nothing better than to serve drinks from the 1950s. That's what I like.
Sounds
But you've got to move with the
Got to keep it
times.
fresh.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And now, though, it is time for our picks. Tim.
Shamelessly, I hope everyone listens to our radio show every weekday afternoon from 3 until 5, WGSO 990. If you don't have those AM radios, you can do WGSO.com for the stream. We keep up with the times.
Okay, Armand, okay.
Well,
how can we reach you if we wanted you to play for us?
Reach me at info@pattyleerecords.com.
Okay, and what are you going to play for us as we close out?
White Christmas.
Okay, we'll let you go do that. Okay, Jeff.
Yeah, we've got a New Year's Eve menu. I was talking about Chef Chris. He's working up some very special stuff for us on New Year's Eve.
Very good. Alfred.
Well, we ordinary men with extraordinary moves will be ready for the new year with the Super Bowl that's going to take place on January 23rd. And this is going to be at Mardi Gras World. Bigger and better. Come to 610stompers.com and watch us perform in action.
Okay, great. And now my picks, don't forget, New Year's Eve, that fleur-de-lis drop and fireworks at 11:45 on the Mississippi River, of course, at Jackson Square. And there's going to be bands performing on Decatur earlier. And go to Crescent City Countdown for more information on that. Also, looking ahead, we want you to see one of Carnival's most spectacular and historic parades close up before it rolls. If you want to see it, you've got to go to the Rex organization Den Tour, the Royal Den Tour. It is a fundraiser for WYES. That's January 10th from 2 to 4 p.m. The $40 ticket includes tea and scones from Vian's. Go to WYES.org for more information. That's going to be so much fun. And there are limited tickets available. Also, looking ahead, the 38th annual St. Michael's Chef Charity will take place January 13th at the Hilton Riverside from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. John Besh, John Folsch. Go to St. Michael's Special School. We'll be reminding you more about that, great cooking demos, and they'll be cooking for you. It's really going to be wonderful. More info later. And now, though, let's hear more from Armand St. Martin. Happy New Year.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones we used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. But I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all of your Christmases be white. Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all of your Christmases, all of your Christmases, all of your Christmases be white.
Support for Steppin Out is made possible by local author Sarada Bonnet. In Notes for Forgiveness, Bonnet shares her childhood story as daughter of famed rockabilly singer Sherry Davis. Notes for Forgiveness, available in bookstores and at saradabonnet.com.